Okay, get this. What if the secret to fighting one of our biggest modern health crises has been sitting in our spice racks this whole time? Today, we're diving into a massive scientific study that put the key ingredient in turmeric to the ultimate test. So here's the big question, the one we're really digging into today. Can a simple ancient spice actually make a dent in two of the most common diseases on the planet right now? And this isn't just some fun thought experiment. We're talking about the health of literally hundreds of millions of people. Now, to really get why this study is so important, we have to understand the problem itself. And what we're facing isn't just one epidemic, it's two. Twin crises that are tangled together and growing into a massive global threat. First up, we have type 2 diabetes. That's the condition where your body just can't manage its blood sugar properly. And the numbers here are, well, they're honestly kind of mind-blowing. Right now, it affects more than 1 in 10 adults around the world. And if we keep going on this path, projections show that could be 1 in 8 adults by 2045. And its twin is something that used to be called fatty liver disease. The name has been updated to Metabolic Dysfunction-Associated Steatotic liver disease, or MASLD for short. And you gotta understand, this is not some rare illness. It's a silent epidemic where fat builds up in the liver, and it could be affecting as many as 38% of all people on Earth. So what's the connection? Well, here's the critical link. These two diseases are not really separate problems. They grow from the exact same dangerous roots, things like insulin resistance, constant low-grade inflammation, and this thing called oxidative stress, which you can think of as a kind of biological rust that damages your cells from the inside out. They just feed off each other in this really vicious cycle. Okay, so if they share the same roots, what if we could find something that targets all of those roots at once? Well, this brings us to our hero candidate, a compound that scientists have been very, very interested in for a long time. Let me introduce you to curcumin. It's the main active compound in turmeric, the spice that gives curry its vibrant yellow color. For years, researchers have known that this stuff has some serious antioxidant and anti-inflammatory power, which, hey, are the exact weapons you need to fight the root causes we were just talking about. And there was a really good reason for all this interest. As the researchers behind this very study point out, previous work in the lab showed curcumin was a total rock star. It could fight that cellular rust, calm down inflammation, and even help manage fats in the body. The huge question, though, was, could it actually do all that in a real, long-term human study? So a team of researchers decided it was time to get a real answer. And they didn't mess around. They designed what's known as the gold standard of clinical research, a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. That's a mouthful. But it basically means it's the most rigorous, unbiased way to figure out if something truly works. Just take a look at this chart. It kind of shows you just how serious they were about getting this right. They started with 275 patients who had type 2 diabetes, and they carefully whittled that number down to the final 227 people who would be analyzed. This whole process ensures that the groups are as identical as possible from day one. So here's how the whole thing worked, broken down. It was actually pretty simple in its design. They took those 227 patients and randomly split them into two groups. For a full year, one group took 1,500 milligrams of curcumin every day. The other group took a placebo, a pill that looked exactly the same but had nothing in it. And all along the way, the scientists were measuring everything. All right, so after 12 months of patiently gathering all this data, the moment of truth arrived. The blindfolds came off, the numbers were crunched. So, what did they find? Did this ancient spice actually live up to the hype? Let's take a look. Whoa. Okay, the very first result is just look at this graph. It's pretty stunning. It's tracking the amount of fat in the liver. That top line, that's the placebo group. Their liver fat actually went up over the year. But look at the bottom line, that's the curcumin group. Their liver fat went down, and it just kept on going down. The difference is incredible. And it wasn't just about liver fat. The positive effects kept on coming. This chart here shows the change in their body mass index, or BMI. And again, you can see the same exact story playing out. The placebo group kind of drifted upwards, while the curcumin group saw a real significant drop. And now for maybe the most important piece of the puzzle, especially for anyone dealing with type 2 diabetes, blood sugar control. This graph tracks something called HbA1c, which is a key marker that tells you how good your blood sugar control has been over the long term. And, no surprise at this point, the two lines tell the whole story. The placebo group got a little worse, but the curcumin group saw steady, significant improvement for the entire year. So these graphs are amazing, but why was this happening? What was actually going on inside their bodies? Well, the data showed that curcumin was basically changing the body's internal environment for the better. In the curcumin group, the body's own natural antioxidant defenses were powered up, and markers of harmful inflammation were powered down. The placebo group? Nothing. This table really lays it all out, clear as day. It's like the final scorecard. You look at markers for that cellular rust, for inflammation, even for bad cholesterol. The placebo group either got worse or stayed the same. And in every single one of these categories, the curcumin group got significantly better. The results are just so consistent across the board. Okay, so the results are great, but I know what you're thinking. Was it safe? That's a huge question, and the answer here is really good news. The dose they used, 1,500 milligrams a day, was tolerated really well. There were no serious problems, and the main side effects were pretty minor, like a little bit of stomach upset. Most importantly, it didn't cause any issues with their liver or kidney function. So let's zoom out for a second. We've seen all this incredible data. What's the big takeaway? What does this all mean when you put it together? And look, the reason we can even have this conversation is because the study itself was just so strong. This wasn't some flimsy weekend-long experiment. It ran for a full year, which is a long time for a trial like this. It had a good number of people in it, and they measured a whole bunch of different things, which gives us a really rich, complete picture. But, part of good science is being honest about what you don't know. And the researchers themselves pointed out a few important limitations. For one, they used a special scan to measure liver fat, not the absolute gold standard, which is a biopsy. Also, the study was done at just one hospital in Thailand, so we have to be a little careful applying these results to everybody in the world, and they only tested this one specific dose. So, where does that leave us? What's the final sober verdict from the scientists? Well, they say their findings support curcumin as a promising adjunctive therapy. Now, that word adjunctive is really important. It means this could be a safe and effective addition to the normal medical care someone is already receiving. It's a helper, not a replacement. A study like this is just so cool. It's a perfect blend of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science, showing us the incredible potential that might be locked away inside a common kitchen spice. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other amazing secrets are just sitting there in our spice racks, waiting for science to unlock them?